All right, this is for those who want to learn how to do their own oil changes. I've seen a lot of questions about people asking what it costs, how you do it. I know there's a lot of new people. It's a starter bike, so there's a lot of new people in the group, and that's fine. This is just kind of introduction and show you guys if you want to start doing your own stuff. It's pretty easy. It's not very expensive. The oil and the filter, 50 bucks. 3/4 oil and the filter. All Honda, nothing aftermarket. This is a 2017 Rebel 500. I'm assuming that if you have an 1100, it's probably going to take a little bit more oil, but this is a good middle ground for everybody. So I've already started loosening this. I got a little bit of oil on the exhaust, but you'll need one of these. It's an oil filter wrench. This is an adjustable one. This one works on all my motorcycles, so that's why I have it. I got multiple motorcycles. So this one works great, and you'll also need a 12 millimeter. You can use a wrench, you can use a socket, but that is your drain plug. So I've went ahead and, loosened this already, letting it drain. Obviously her oil was not very bad. It's my fiance's bike, but start of the season here in Minnesota, so I just wanted to go ahead and get it ready to go and get new oil in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this drip for a second just to get it off the exhaust. I'll wipe it off. I'm gonna pause the video and I'll come right back. So I just moved the oil drain pan just a little over. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the rear plug off, but just something I always do. I don't really know if it's necessary or not, but I like to remove this cap. It kind of lets the air get through and it doesn't bubble as much, so it just drains quicker. So yeah, you can take the cap off if you'd like. And now we're down here. It's just a 12 millimeter. I've already loosened it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take it off. If I can get my hand in there easily enough. And just because my pan is not far over, I'm going to kind of let it hit my fingers for a minute. But you're just going to go ahead and loosen it up, take it off. You do have a washer. There's a copper washer on there. You got to be careful about not dropping that in the pan. Alrighty. And there it is. Gonna let this drain and I'll be right back. I know I said copper. It looks like it's an aluminum washer, but same difference. Yeah, she really didn't need this oil change, but it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, we'll let that drain for a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and clean the exhaust up and start putting the new stuff on. While we have that draining, I'm going to go ahead and put the new oil filter on. So something I like to do that a lot of other mechanics will do is to just take some of the oil and put it around the lip, right around this ring here. What that's going to do is just make sure the ring doesn't, get stuck onto here. It's just going to prevent it from, after hundreds, thousands of miles of riding, whenever you do your next oil change, it'll just make it easier for this to come off. And it's something I do on cars, motorcycles, everything. Some people say you don't have to. It's just something I do. So we're going to go ahead and install this. Very simple. Just goes on and threads on. And we'll end up snugging it up here in just a second. Alrighty, and there's the new oil filter. I'm going to show you guys what I do to snug it up. So obviously it still needs tightening. I just snug it up with my hand, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not cranking it down with this thing. You just kind of get it as snug as you can with your non-dominant hand, and it's fine. It's not going nowhere. Yeah, pretty simple. And moving on over to here. We have a few more drips coming out. So we're going to go ahead and... this oil is pretty new, so I'm just going to go ahead and put the oil drain plug back in and go ahead and start filling it up. Be right back. And there we are, all tightened up. I just tighten where I feel comfortable tightening it. I've been working on stuff for a long time, so I can't tell you exactly how tight that is. I'm sure you can look up a torque spec if it's something you're learning and you don't want to over tighten or not make it tight enough. It's definitely a good idea to have a torque wrench and just, practice your first time and kind of get the hang of things. But to me, I know where tight is, so it is tight. We got, like I said, this is all tightened up. And she has no oil in her, so the obvious next step. And here we are. Unfortunately, due to the angle of this, I'm not really going to be able to show you guys me pouring it in. I'm holding my phone and everything else. But essentially, you just take your funnel, stick it in there, start pouring your oil in. This is, like I said, 2017 500, so it takes 2.9 quarts. Just put 3 quarts in. That 0.1 is not going to hurt anything. It's not going to be too much. Just take your 3 quarts, put it in there. Be right back. And there you have it. 3 quarts of oil inside the engine. So we're going to go ahead and put this back out. Oh, by the way, don't crank this thing down. Like, see how loose this is right now? Just get it where it's snug, and then just, I don't know, not even a quarter turn. You don't need to crank that thing down. That seal isn't meant to be cranked down all the way. It'll start leaking there. So just pro tip. Anyway, there you go. 3 quarts of oil. It's reading way high, obviously, but that's because I haven't primed the system. That's the next step that a lot of people don't do. So, you have not done anything. I actually don't know if this one does it, but I'm assuming it does because all my other Hondas do. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Priming the system. Take your kill switch. Have it off. All right? That's number 1. Sorry, I got to squeeze between these dang motorcycles. Number 2, turn the ignition on. Obviously, make sure you're in neutral. Just don't want it going anywhere. See this button here? Hold it down. Oh, this one doesn't do it. That's dumb. So I just want to show you guys what I was actually talking about. My other Hondas do it because it's actually in the factory service manual to prime the oil pump. You'll have the kill switch off and the ignition on, and you can still turn the engine over. Obviously, you didn't hear the fuel pump or anything, but the engine, you can turn the engine over. And what that's meant to do is it's meant to just prime the oil pump. It's meant to get everything up in there. Apparently on this one it doesn't need it. But if you have other older motorcycles, give it a try. It is a thing. It's in the manual, but I guess I must have thought that this one did it, but it does not. So anyway, we're kind of done. That's the oil change then. You got the new oil in there. Drain plug's all nice and secure. Oil filter's all nice and secure. She's done. Took me, I don't know, 15 minutes, including playing around with the phone. Yeah, very simple, very easy. It's $50. So figure out what your time's worth, guys. I don't know how much it's charging at the dealership, but I've seen people pay $250 for an oil change on some motorcycles when in reality it takes you 15 minutes and you save $200. That $200 will buy you one of these and the tool you need and the drain pan and a rear stand. Like, you can get those for $75 on Marketplace. And do it all yourself. You save a lot of money and you'll learn. I don't know. I'm one of those people that trusts myself more than the minimum wage guy working on something that is essentially a death trap if something goes wrong. So it's a good idea to learn. Just understand your motorcycle, starting with an oil change. Eventually you'll start learning on how to tension your chain and how to do your coolant flushes. And I don't know, guys, it's a snowball effect, but there you go. Simple oil change, nice and done. Have a good day, guys.